Like, did you always sound like you smoked 4 packs of cigarettes and had whiskey?
I don't. When I first started, I sounded like high squeaky Alvin and the Chipmunks. I felt like.
Did you sing in high school? Sing in the choir or sing in the...
I did a little bit, but I was always kind of embarrassed or shy about it. I didn't learn to play guitar till I was 17.
Yeah.
That's when I started writing. And the only reason I learned to play guitar was so I could write. And then, so I learned guitar at 17 and I started a band when I was 19. When I was a freshman at Tech, all I knew was mainstream country. And I went to see Robert Earl in Lubbock and I went, oh.
There's this whole other thing.
Yeah. It clicked because it also at that point I thought I was going to have to move to Nashville, wait tables, age-old story you always heard over and over. And then I saw him and I was like, wait, I mean, I can do this now.
Did the mainstream stuff start to kind of fade as you realized, oh, there's this thing called this, like, you can be an artist, but you can also be mainly a songwriter. That's what I'm going to be. Like, I wanted to be Waylon, or Willie, or Waylon. Like, where you write your songs and you make them famous or make them impactful.
I don't know that I ever thought of it that way. I don't know if I ever thought about that's. I just knew that I wanted to write and go make records. And
once Pat had some success out of Nashville, Ragweed to a certain extent, I did to a certain extent. Friends of yours started to go, I'm going to try and tackle this other thing. And it means taking the risk of all the risks that is, of being called a sellout or whatever, or not making the entire jump like you thought you could. And then can you still go back and have an audience? Like all the things that are taken into account when you go try and reach for the brass ring, so to speak. You did that.
I did that. Yeah. I went for it. I had the dream, you know,
Was it burning? What made you do that when you were doing pretty damn well? Was it just because you saw your friends and were like,
it had nothing to do with what my friends were doing. I'd always wanted that. The best thing about a major label in those situations is there's no ceiling. You look up and there's nothing holding you back.
Right. Well, you were on, what label were you on?
I was on B&A Columbia. You probably dealt with this, but a big thing the hardest part of me being on the label was, how do we make this Texas guy work to the rest of the country and the rest of the world? And I'd be like, have you not listened to my music?
That's always been a trip.
But my music is not Texas music. It's music from Texas. That's what I've always prided myself on. So stop saying that. Stop throwing that out there for them to enter their brains, because you're just setting me up to fail, because they're not going to play a kid from Texas music.
Right.
But they can play a kid from Texas. I sat over there for a year with nothing. And so I said, you know, do we have any other plans to release any other songs? Or I'm not waiting tables down the road. I've got a career.
Like, I have a career. Let me go back.
I have stuff that I need to go do, you know.
Or get off the pot.
Yeah. And they said, well, let's go cut some more songs. And I was like,
that old game?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm not going to do that again.
So you walked?
So I walked.
And
they let me out.
Yeah.
Thank God. Or it would have been, they could have left me there miserably unhappy. And Gary wasn't happy with it, man. But he did it because he liked me, and we get along still to this day. And
did your fans from Texas ever be like, what, now you want to come back to us?
The only thing that they saw was Saturday Night get to number 39 on the charts.
So you never did like a Lips of an Angel thing, or where you really went for some fucking titties and brass?
I never did, but I wasn't offered the chance either. I probably would have.
Given the chance, I'd sell out.
Is Taylor Swift a generational?
Yes. It might not be because she's Ray Charles. It's not because she's Stevie Wonder.
Because of who she is.
It's because she's Garth Brooks.
She plays the game.
She is the game.
Yeah.
And she figured out what it was.
She wasn't at one point.
No, from the minute I met her, dude, she knew exactly who she was going to be. And if she didn't make it, she was going to fail spectacularly. I remember getting demos from Stapleton. I'm sure you got them too. And you wrote with them where you're just like, I don't know how this is going to work, but if this doesn't work, then I need to be out of the business. What I've always loved about hanging out with you, especially late at night, is Paul. Can we talk about Paul for a minute?
You really want? Was that us to bring that up?
That's why you're here.
Paul's
your alter ego. It's funny, man. You grew up with sisters.
Yeah.
And a really strong mother.
Yep.
Because you treat yourself sometimes the way I think of in old
being
school.
Spoiled?
No. To where you put yourself
last.
Oh
yeah, with 100%. No, I've gotten myself in a lot of trouble because of that. I mean, always put everybody else first to a fault. My mom really has always said a person's best quality is always their worst.
Sometimes do you look back and go, God, if I'd have just never gone and seen Robert Earl Keen, I could have moved to Nashville and fucking made it.
Been a big